Photosynthesis is influenced by many factors that can be divided mostly into external and internal. So let's first of all learn about the external factors. Now, light intensity or the wavelength of the light also, even they actually affect a lot in the process of photosynthesis. This is called the light intensity is like it goes by the name of like it is usually measured in the form of photosynthetically active radiation or PAR, and under low intensity of light the rate of photosynthesis is low, and then when the intensity of the light increases the rate of the photosynthesis also increases. But by very strong light can inhibit the entire process of photosynthesis, uh, because there is a chance, like there is a chance of like that the chlorophyll may get somehow destroyed or may get some sort of problem in it, which actually completely halt the entire or inhibit the entire process of photosynthesis. This process it goes by the name of solarization, where excess or high intensity light affect like completely inhibit the process of photosynthesis. Now plants are adapted to grow in high light definitely, but even there are plants which actually have adapted themselves to grow in the shady areas also, but that doesn't mean that they are not affected by the intensity of light, because every time there is a certain intensity of light the plant actually, as you can see the graph also, it shows the same thing, that the rate of photosynthesis it actually changes drastically as the light intensity increases, but after reaching a certain point the entire process it stop at that particular level only, because beyond that point there is no chance of the light to work properly. Right. Next is actually the process which is the carbon dioxide concentration. Definitely it is one of the raw material required for the process of the photosynthesis to take place properly, and if there is an increase in CO2 concentration, it increases the rate of photosynthesis, clearly shown in the graph right in this particular you can see the gradient is increasing as with respect to the concentration of the carbon dioxide, but the moment it reaches a certain level it actually stops right there, and then it has kind of an inhibitory effect that the process cannot continue further than that. So this is actually considered as a limiting factor for the photosynthesis, concentration, which is that we know that it's 0.03 to 0.04 percentage of the CO2 is there in the atmosphere. Now if it actually exceed 0.05, then there is actually an increase, there can be increase in the CO2 level, but once the saturation point on at which we find that the plant has completely stopped doing the process of photosynthesis, is actually 450 parts per million of the CO2. The moment it actually achieves that particular saturation, that means at that particular point of or concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere, 450 ppm, at that very moment the process is seen that it actually halts right there, means it actually stops from that particular point of time, it doesn't continue any further than that. Third factor is temperature. Now temperature, as you can see, it definitely is working. Well, this actually graph it temperature is affected because of the enzymes that are in use in the process of photosynthesis. So it is as the enzyme activity goes that the rate of photosynthesis will definitely increase. The rate of photosynthesis will definitely increase as the temperature actually continue, means as the temperature it increases. All right, but after reaching a particular point which is the optimum right there, the optimum point that it will show its peak activity, means highest activity that it can actually show, but beyond that point there is actually chance of the degradation of the enzyme, due to which the entire process it actually falls, means the rate of photosynthesis falls and comes to zero, because the enzymes are actually getting destroyed at that particular point of time, means at the point of temperature. So this is clearly that clearly as the graph of the enzyme activity normally shows that as the temperature increases the process of enzyme activity also increases, but the time it reaches at certain point it actually will stop right there at that particular moment. Okay. Now, talking about all of this, I have to mention one thing. Uh, First is the rate of photosynthesis is actually measured by seeing the output of oxygen. Means the amount of oxygen produced is actually what is observed in course of time. Means with the spending of the time, the amount of oxygen that will be utilized, I mean, so the amount of oxygen that will be produced is what is actually considered as the rate of photosynthesis. That is how it is measured. The second important thing is when I was talking about the light intensity, definitely there was actually one more thing that has to be mentioned there, which is the compensation point. Now, compensation point is actually it's actually a point when the concentration is actually not only when the light itself, it's actually the CO2 compensation point is also there, where means after like when the CO2 concentration in the environment is reduced, a point comes in which plant stops absorbing CO2. All right, and this is the point where the means it's not consuming CO2 any further, but the process of respiration will actually keep on going right there. Okay, and it is also seen that at this point the CO2 fixed in photosynthesis is equal to the CO2 evolved in the process of respiration and if photorespiration is taking place. Okay, so it is like as it is shown the rate of photosynthesis. You can see the light intensity is kept on this particular plane. Intensity is measured in photosynthetically active radiation as in that particular form. So in the per micrometer of area per second, how much amount of light intensity is going inside, that is how it is measured. And right there it is noticed that the rate of photosynthesis is actually changes, means it keeps on continue is growing, but at a certain point the low level of CO2 and low level it is noticed that the rate of production of that CO2, I mean the rate of production of O2 and the utilization of the CO2 as it is going on, it becomes equal to that of the amount of CO2 produced by the respiration. Okay, so you can see it is marked right there in that particular point. Okay, I cannot zoom into that area, I think. Yeah, I cannot zoom into that area. Right there you can see it's the point where the respiration rate is shown you. So since it is like evolution of oxygen that will be going on, definitely there will be no evolution of oxygen right there, isn't it? Because rate of photosynthesis, as I've told you, it is measured by the evolution of oxygen by the plant. But in the process of respiration, oxygen will be utilized and CO2 will be produced on the other hand, right? So here it is like this 0 point is actually the point where the rate of respiration is high, means as maximum, right? So it's going on there, means rate of respiration is going on there. But as the rate of respiration is going on and CO2 is being produced, and at the same time at that particular point of concentration of CO2 is like such that the photosynthesis also is actually going on simultaneously, definitely. And it will be observed that definitely a certain intensity of light is required for that process, and it has been observed that at that particular point, means this compensation point, the rate of photosynthesis where the CO2 will be converted to O2, and the rate of respiration where the O2 will be converted to CO2, that entirely balance itself, means it will become equal. So this is the compensation point of CO2, we can say. And definitely like if this graph is showing the with respect to the intensity of the light. So at that particular point, like as it is increasing, once it reach this area, it is actually the saturation point where the net photosynthesis rate will be there, but then after that it will not continue any further. It will actually start even dropping down. You can see the graph, actually it can come down. So this is actually the process of like compensation point, we can say. Means this is what happens actually during the compensation point, and the effect of light intensity also shown at the same time. Now coming to the other factors, that those will be the internal factors, and they are actually three. So content of chlorophyll in the leaves, the accumulation of byproducts, and the thickness of the cuticle are actually the internal factors that control photosynthesis, or that actually rather affect the photosynthesis. How? The Chlorophyll, well, it's actually the one which start the entire process, isn't it? Means it's the kind of the catalyst, we can say, or biocatalyst, to be very precise. Now, if the chlorophyll quantity is small, if it is not adequate enough, definitely the process of photosynthesis will not take place. It is very like easy to understand, isn't it? Because the process of photosynthesis is completely dependent on the chlorophyll. This is the one which start the entire thing, isn't it? So definitely if the chlorophyll quantity is not adequate, then definitely the process of photosynthesis will not take place. So the second factor, the accumulation of byproduct. Well, clearly now the final product of the photosynthesis is actually the sugar, isn't it? So once the sugar is produced, and if it is produced in an excessive amount and it has completely filled up the cell, then there will be no place for the rest of the enzymes to work with the respective substrate, isn't it? This actually goes with the concept of the substrate and enzyme concentration, like that. Okay, means if the product even is in higher quantity, or even the byproduct whatever is produced, if it is not removed from the cell, then accumulation of those material will actually hinder the entire process, and the access of the enzyme to its respective substrate will become very very hard, and that's why there will be a drastic drop in the entire process of the photosynthesis that will be noticed. Okay. Now, third factor, the internal structure of the leaf, which is completely dependent on the thickness of the cuticle, as because it is like the outer side, and the intercellular spaces that are also there, they all actually play a major role. So, if the cuticle is thick enough, then actually there will be a light will not pass through properly, isn't it? As supposed to, it will hinder the process. As supposed to let the light go through it easily, now there will be a little bit of hindrance, and that hindrance will actually drop the intensity of light for the chlorophyll, and definitely the process will falter, isn't it? Likely the distribution of the intercellular spaces are also a factor here, because the distribution of spaces is actually in those spaces only the gases and everything they reside. So if the gases are not present or not in close junction to the cells that are responsible for the photosynthesis, definitely there will be less supply of the gases, and definitely there will be lesser amount of CO2 available for the process of photosynthesis. So definitely that is also a factor there. So the internal structure and also they play a major role in the entire process of photosynthesis. Now those are the things that control the photosynthetic process, and if those things are not maintained properly, photosynthesis will stop.